Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Little Nightmares Theory video. I know it's been a while since the last video, so I do apologise. I have been experimenting with some small Let's Plays in between, but with that being said, I bring you a new theory video that I think is really interesting and could potentially answer most of the questions we have about the Little Nightmares universe. But with that being said, I do believe this is a great time to remind you all about the potential spoilers coming your way. So yes, there will be spoilers, mainly from the Little Nightmares base game and the comics itself, so you've been warned. And before we get into today's theory video, I'd like to just make sure that everyone is subscribed, so if you're watching this and enjoying the content, make sure to hit subscribe, it really helps out. Anyway, now that that's out the way, let me talk about today's theory video, and set the scene which led to this video being made. It was a few days ago, when I was playing on my new PlayStation 4, which my lovely partner Leanne brought me for my birthday. Thank you again, Leanne. And of course, the first game I play is Little Nightmares, and as I was facing the janitor and having to push down the door which leads us into the room with all the grandfather clocks, I started to wonder, I still find it strange how time doesn't work here. And I started to wonder a little more into this topic, and remembered that the punch card also didn't work right at the start of the level, just before you see the eye. So, this is all over the mall, and it led me to think, is this influenced everywhere else in the Little Nightmares universe? And something happened. I ran with this idea, this theory if you will. What I'd like to theorise about is the idea that we're being fooled. We've been misguided. In fact, the horror has been us from the start. We are in the worst case scenario. I theorise that we are in fact inside the world or universe of the mirrors, in the opposite world that we're led to believe. Now, for those of you who have not read the comics, I highly recommend it. In the comics, we are shown a group of young kids going into a house. In the house, they have many mirrors covered, so someone is trying to hide something. But when these children take off the covers of the mirror, they are greeted with an image of themselves and how they want them to be. So a few examples of this are one of the children wanting to be strong, and in the mirror he looks strong, everything he ever wanted. And in the next part, one child wants to become tall, and then obviously as they see themselves in the mirror, they see him tall, so he can reach things he couldn't before, etc, etc. After they all see themselves in these different views, one of the kids decides to look at the mirror and sees something. When he gets scared from what he saw, he looks back at his friends, and they have become what they saw in the mirror. And thus the comic goes into more detail with the fight between the Mirror Man and the children, but I won't talk about that here, as one, it is illegal, and two, I would like you to read the comics, they're really good. But if you're wondering, this is the mirror world that I'm referring to. It's whatever is in those mirrors that were shown in the comics. So with that being said, let me explain some of the links that we find in the Little Nightmares game, which could explain this distortion between this real world and this mirror world, the one we're playing in. So, one of the easiest pieces of evidence for this is time, and how it doesn't function in the mirror world. Perhaps this is why we never see kids age in the game, and even in the sequel, it doesn't seem like 6 has increased in age or decreased. Same for the runaway kid. Another interesting point is the apple. The one we see in the photo frame on the mall, and then we see the apple in the Little Nightmares 2 trailer with the teacher. Surely it would have decomposed by the point from it being painted into a painting and seeing the apple in Little Nightmares 2. One has to definitely come before the other. And because we don't see the apple decompose at all, we know that time isn't essentially happening in that world. Another interesting part to this could be the explanation of the lady and what we see in the Residence DLC. The part where we see her looking into the mirror, holding her face, disgusted by what she's looking at. Could we be seeing what the mirror world is teasing the lady on the outside? It's trying to show her what she could be or has already become. Maybe she entered the mirror world at her own discretion. Maybe she struck a deal. Maybe she was trying to run away. Now, I know what you're thinking. That made no sense at all. But it could. What if I told you, in fact, the lady could actually even be a good character and has the same type of issue as Six in that she doesn't belong here in the mirror world? What if she made the switch with the mirror and she is now on the wrong side? It could be the reason why she uses a mask all the time to cover her face. Not only this, but what if she's been trying to protect the children all this time with gnomification? What if gnomification is actually to protect the children in the Little Nightmares mirror world? As we know, anyone that is obviously a child in this world is hunted down and captured for whatever reason. What if the lady is protecting them by giving them a mask of some sorts and a different identity to fit in this world by turning them into gnomes? This is why we never see the gnomes being eaten or a bother to the enemies of the world. Sure, we see Roger chase them, but he is blind, so we can't really tell if it's a child escaping. Could this be the reason why there are so many attempts at creating children and people in the world of the mirrors? Could they be trying to make these beings to mimic the normality of the outside world, so they can entice more people to enter the mirror world? But with that being said then, why would Six be attacking the lady? Well, I theorised if this is the influence of Dark Six in this world, the hunger that can never be filled but only by one particular meal, the outsider, the lady. Interestingly, Six also doesn't belong to. As we are told from the description of Six, maybe Six is being used, whereas the lady has more control with what she's doing. Is this the reason there is only 2 unbroken mirrors on the moor? Is this the lady's way of being able to keep a watchful eye on what's going outside the moor, and how the Little Nightmares universe can somehow have an effect on the opposite world and give hints to the lady of the future? And if this is true, I find it suspicious that Six knows how to use the mirror and repel the lady, again without any prior knowledge. It's very odd that Six has this information on this mirror and what it does unless she has had first-hand experience before on how they work. It would also be good to know that Six is fading from this world. Is Dark Six her replacement, or whatever is taking over finally winning, and she will just be like all the other monsters in this world? Or does she have a timer here? Is she here to fix and save what she needs to and leave? And if she doesn't do this in a speedy manner, she is lost in this world forever, just like the lady was. In conclusion to this theory, it does explain a lot of Little Nightmares and the mirror world, or wherever they are after they transport, for example. I do wonder if this is going to be the same with the TV portals. Will they behave the same way, or will it go somewhere else completely? It's interesting to think about how many people in this world are conflicted and fighting over something or someone. The Mirror Man, Dr. No, Northwind, what are they all fighting for? But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you ever so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think of this theory in the comments below. And while I do have you here, I'd like to give a quick shout out to all the members of the channel. The extra support really helps, and they are the following: Greenapple Gaming, NierNione, Jessica DeHaro, Newly New, Corvus, Elena, Kris Pyne, and DF. Thank you, members, for supporting the channel. It really helps. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this theory video, make sure to hit subscribe so you're notified of the next upload, and remember to like the video and share it. I wish you all the best morning, day or night wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, and I will see you all in the next theory video. Bye!